consistency, and finishing what you started. Time. How much time are you putting into your craft? I believe you don't lose, you learn. So you just ran out of time. Does that make sense? Like that contest, y'all just ran out of time. But how much time do you think you have before it's over? Right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. Don't matter if you're a damn All-American. Like, you got a job to do, so trust. Y'all not mentally tough because y'all don't trust not only each other, but you don't trust yourself. And you don't trust yourself because how much time you putting in. The ones that put the time in, they trust one another. They believe in themselves. So if y'all believe that y'all can do it, y'all should be going harder. Y'all should be holding one another accountable. Whatever you can do to help this team, that's what y'all need to happen. Everybody can't score. Everybody ain't fast. What everybody can do, what everybody that ever plays basketball should be able to do if they play basketball, they should be able to play defense and play hard. Them are the only two things you can control.
And so hey, who want to play basketball? Honestly, who want to play basketball? All right, who has to play basketball? We just practice code. And dudes that y'all play, they gotta get their mom out the hood. The dudes that y'all playing, they living in a trap. The dudes that y'all playing ain't getting no sleep. So I got to get any advantage that I can. So what choices are y'all making? That's the point I'm getting to. Are you making the choice to play defense? Are you making the choice to pass the ball? Hell, are you making the choice to come to practice? And I commend y'all because y'all here in the evening. But guess what? Circle gets smaller. Tryouts, that circle was big, wasn't it? Circle gets smaller, dog. Everybody don't make it.
Good afternoon. How you doing? It's Coach Carvel Bailey, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Lunch and Learn. On today's episode, here's what we're going to tackle today. All right, here's what we're going to tackle today. We're going to talk about the 3 C's. All right, so we're going to talk about the 3 C's because at some point, as a parent, at some point, even as a coach, at some point, you've been convinced that it doesn't matter. At some point, you've been convinced that it doesn't matter. All right. And so I want you to listen up to this because it does matter. And as we talk about the 3 C's, mentality matters. That's what I'm talking about. That's what matters. Mentality matters. How does your athlete view themselves? How do they view themselves on the court, off the court? How do they view themselves just in reality? And if your athlete doesn't have the proper mindset, the proper mind state, it's going to eventually affect them in an adverse way later on in life. If your athlete doesn't have the right mindset and mind state, it will affect them adversely later on. Now, I know it ain't like it's to most people, this is not sexy. To most people, if I'm talking about how to run a play, if I'm talking about how to do a certain move, that's sexy to most people because most people don't really understand the things that really matters. It's certain things that matter more than others. And so I'm here to help you today to get you to understand that mindset and mind state matters, especially in student athletes, particularly basketball players. Let's take it a little bit further, particularly in high school guards. It matters. And here's why it matters. Talking about the 3 C's, right? Mindset matters. How do they view themselves? How do they view each other? How do they view the things going on around them? Well, mindset matters in the classroom, because if your athlete doesn't have the right mindset, they don't have the right mind state, they're not going to perform at their best, at the most optimal level in the classroom. And last I checked, it was called student athlete. It was called student athlete, not athlete student, not athletic student. It was called student athlete. So if your athlete doesn't have the right mental focus, the right mindset, the right mind state, it's going to adversely affect them in class. But also, because we're talking about the 3 C's, well else is it going to affect them? It's going to affect them on the court. It's no coincidence that your athlete is making bonehead decisions. And it's no coincidence that your athlete is like making unforced turnovers, because their mind state and their mindset is now affecting how they perform on the court. I just explained to you that it matters how they perform in the classroom. Well, as my dad told me a long time ago, you show me a smart student, I'll show you a smart basketball player. You show me an ignorant student, right? And ignorant mean doesn't know. Show me an ignorant student, I'm gonna show you an ignorant basketball player. You show me a slow student, I'm gonna show you a slow basketball player. Show me a lost student, I'm gonna show you a lost basketball player. However you want to phrase it. You show me a superb student, I'm gonna show you a superb basketball player. But most people don't want to talk about this because you've been so brainwashed that it doesn't matter, right? You've been convinced that that doesn't matter. How your athlete looks at the game, how they approach the game, all those things are mental. But you've been convinced and you've been told and you've been sold to spend lots and lots and lots of money to just see your athlete shoot an orange ball through an orange rim. And you've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, you've been run amok. You've been taken advantage of, because it affects how they perform in the classroom and on the court. But see, this last C is what most people aren't talking about. We know that it will affect your athlete in the classroom and on the court, but your athlete is also a citizen. Some schools, most schools don't even teach citizenship anymore. Now you're talking to a sociology, social studies teacher. And that social studies is history, economics, civics, government, law, all those things, right? So you're literally talking to a history, social studies, civics teacher, literally, as well as a master basketball coach. I tell no lies, all right? How is your athlete performing as a citizen? Are they being the most optimal citizen that they can be? But based on their mindset, based on their mind state, right? Somebody dropped some paper. Oh, I didn't drop that paper. I'm gonna just leave it down there littering, where even though I can pick it up and put it right in the garbage, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Why? Because I'm not worried about setting a screen for my teammate. Why? I'm not worried about passing the ball to my teammate. I'm not worried about hitting the open man. I'm not worried about getting extra reps in to study for this test. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So if your athlete has a poor mindset, a poor mind state, it's also going to affect their IQ and their attitude and their performance, which will affect them in the classroom, on the court, and as a citizen. But I know you don't want to hear that. Maybe I'll be better if I'm talking about, hey, what can your athlete do to get ranked? But guess what? I'm telling you what your athlete needs to do to get ranked. I'm telling you what they need to do to get ranked. They need to improve their mental, and then their physical will follow. It's been inverted. Everybody's focusing on the physical, but they have no idea why your baby can't perform at their most optimal level. It's because it's all in their head. It's all between their ears. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand what they're seeing, so they don't understand how to get out of it. Does that make sense? But having these 3 C's, right? Mindset, mind state affects them in the class, on the court, and as a citizen. But if they have the right mindset, if they have the right mind state, if they have the right perception and identity of themselves, of what's around them and the people around them, guess what it will then affect? It will then make them more consistent. It will then make them more comfortable, and it will then make them more confident. Your athlete's confidence is wrecked because they aren't consistent. They aren't consistent because they aren't comfortable. They aren't comfortable because they haven't mentally prepared for it. That applies to the court, in the real world as a citizen, or in the classroom. They're uncomfortable, so they're inconsistent because they lack confidence. And that's all based on how they're viewing and perceiving things. I just told you how to get your athlete ranked. I just told you how to get your athlete recruited. But most people can't see that because they're just focusing on it being all physical. And physical means about this much. And so that's why, right, not only have you been run amok and lied to, but there isn't a lot of things that speak into the athlete's mind. Everybody is speaking to the athlete's game, right? Come here to this showcase. Come here to this camp. Come here to this event. Come play for my team. But who's really making it a point to say, let's slow down a minute and let's develop these athletes holistically, starting with the head all the way down to the toes, right? How can we start developing an athlete at their waist? How, right? I want somebody to answer that. How can we start developing athletes at their waist? Our body is from head to toe. So if we haven't developed the head, there's no way we can develop the toes. So make sure that you make your athlete's mental ability, mental capacity, IQ, awareness, confidence, all of those things go into mind state and mindset. Make sure that your athlete is getting what they need in terms of that. And that's what I wanted to introduce today, because I'm tired of parents like you being taken advantage of and just being told anything and being sold anything. But we at Hoops Mastery, Coach Carvel Bailey, I've been speaking on the mind for close to 2 decades, been coaching for 3 decades, been speaking on this for close to 2. And I'm the only person that I know that's speaking to the mind. Everybody else is, okay, let me get you in the gym. That's fine. But when I get you in the gym, it's not going to really translate. It's not going to be transferable because they can't really comprehend what we're doing, why we're doing it. They only see how and what. So that's why what we're doing, right, Sunday, is we're hosting our Mamba Mentality Masterclass, right? We're working on the minds for these athletes. And guess what? The registration is only $81. It's only $81. So if you go buy your athlete Jordans, if you go buy them all type of sweatsuits, all type of cell phones and all that, but you don't take the opportunity to invest in your athlete that will last beyond when the ball bounces, then don't complain about another coach. Matter of fact, don't complain about your athlete not being productive. Because if that's too much of a stretch, right? That $81, you will see that 4, 5, 7, 10 times over by the time they get ready to go to college, because of the benefits and the results that it'll bring back just by how they see things and how they think and what they understand. So Sunday, November 6th at 11:30. This is the last day for registration. And it's not even going until the end of the day. Registration cuts off this afternoon. So if you want to get your athlete registered, if you want your athlete to really learn things that's going to be with them beyond this season, but for forever, as long as they have the information, then make sure that you go get registered. All right. At bit.ly/B2BSD Mamba. Make sure you go get registered at bit.ly/B2BSD Mamba. Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Mamba Mentality Masterclass. We're bringing this back after a couple years. After people's been asking, how can we get the replay? All those things. Well, let's just run it back because it was very successful for those people that attended last time. So make sure that you get in, make sure that you go get registered, and make sure that you share this with somebody that you know that can benefit from this information. All right. So Coach Carvel Bailey, I'm out. Listen, it does matter. It does matter. All right. Also, if you're interested in having me virtually or in person come and speak with your team, I'm talking to coaches now, right? To your team or parents, right? If you have influence with your child's coach, say, hey, I know somebody that can really come and help your team, coach, then definitely reach out to me or have the coach reach out to me and we'll go from there. All right. So with that said, this Coach Carvel Bailey, and I will talk to you all Sunday. I see you all Sunday. For the ones that don't make it, I don't ever want to hear you complain about a coach, a referee, nobody anymore. All right. I'll holla.
Did people like you being dominant, or did people not like it? Like the people that wasn't on your team. They didn't like it, right? So watch this. They wasn't hating you because you wasn't scoring. They was hating you because you was scoring and you was getting rebounds. Does that make sense? So that Mamba mentality is, don't say, ooh, I'm not going to dominate tonight because I don't want people to feel bad. Again, look at his eyes. Look at his eyeballs. He don't give a damn about what somebody thinks.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is Strategic.
It was raining until I turned around.